It's time for 7 Minutes of Sunshine at 7:07, and I have a special guest today. Erin is joining me at bright and early this morning. Erin has a license in social work from Case and Western Reserve. She is the executive director at Kaleidoscope Youth Center, where belonging begins here. I love that, by the way. She has two beautiful teenagers. We were just sharing about how fun it is to be in COVID and having kids, and how fun that is.
Fun.
But good too, right, Erin? Good too.
Absolutely.
Um, and Erin has agreed to share her values and superpower with us this morning. I'm so grateful for that, Erin. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to let you go ahead and share your values and superpower, and then we'll talk on the other side.
Wonderful. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Yeah, my values, I love this idea of values. I totally believe we should have values around which to organize everything that we're doing. For me, service is one of my values, and I'm a social worker, and my life has been about service to communities, to individuals, to myself, to my family. So that is a really important value to me, and everything else is in service of that, or vice versa. My other value, probably one that's so important to me, is the idea of belonging. And, something I learned a long time ago, and I tell my children, it doesn't matter if you fit in. I very rarely fit into any space in which I am taking up space, but I know that I belong, and I want other people to know that they belong as well. And that's a core tenet of Kaleidoscope Youth Center, is to offer that unconditional belonging to our young people. Collective power is another one. I believe, and I know that we are all interdependent. We need each other. We are wired for connection. And there is so much power that is available when we can come together and unify, within our differences, despite our differences, outside our differences, but without sanitizing our stories or our experiences. There's room for all of it and all the complexity. And then integrity. Integrity is such I think, a powerful word. There's integrity externally, where, I am who I say I am, where I go. Um, one idea is the private self and public self are the same, but integrity for me also means that I am aligned within myself, and that I value myself, and I hold my own life sacred. I hold my own boundaries sacred, my own ideas and vision, and values sacred. And so it's internal integrity that's really important to me, and what means the most. And then when we look at superpower, I used to think it was connection, being able to bring people and ideas together. But I realized it's something bigger than that, and it's vision, and it's being able to see things, bigger picture. I always tell my team, I go big, and then you can pull me back in later. But being able to Glennon Doyle talks about being able to see the unseen order of things. Like, that's our imagination, the thing on the inside, the thing that we know is possible, something that's more true and beautiful. And I can see that. And I love being able to see it. I'm just now settling into being able to see it and being confident in that. But also externally, around systems and situations and groups and organizations. I always say I have this wonderful gift of spotting issues very immediately, or finding holes or gaps in situations. You can imagine I'm not a bunch of fun at those types of parties. Not everybody wants to hear the areas or the gaps in which they are working, but I can see it. And my brain has this ability to think about different ways to connect the dots and to fill in those gaps. And that's where I'm able to bring folks together, bring solutions together, bring ideas together. And I'm 43, so I'm still accepting that and learning that, and accepting what that looks like for me sometimes. And that's where it goes back to my values of belonging. And even if I'm not fitting in, I know I belong. Collective power, because I know there's so much possible. The integrity within my own vision, and of course, service, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. What else, Tom? Talk
Oh,
about pictures.
beautiful, 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 Erin. My goodness, I love how you. I mean, one thing I've always noticed about you is you're always so thoughtful about your words, and intentional. And your words are, whenever you speak, it's just so powerful. I know that everyone is always like, "Okay, Erin's speaking. What's he gonna say?" And so I just want to share a couple things. Erin. you kind of you took a leadership role at Kaleidoscope at a really important time in our community, and because of that leadership, I think you've transformed Kaleidoscope, but you've also transformed the whole LGBTQ community through your visibility and through showing up. And then you showed up strong at our leadership roundtable when we really needed you, and you just held space there, and again, you spoke those words of wisdom. I think you were sharing a lot of vision, and honestly, Erin, you helped transform that group as well, and brought that group together in a different way. And your willingness to do that made all the difference. And so I have to thank you for that, of course. We really needed you at this time, and so you're continuing to do that. And that leadership goes at the roundtable, it goes in our LGBTQ community, but it also goes beyond. I think it goes in the city. I saw you run for school board a couple years ago, which was very courageous thing to do. And we talked about how much fun it is running for office.
Oh, yeah. That's the word we want to use, fun.
But so I'm going to ask you a question here, but I just want to thank you for all of that hard work, being there, being present, and just making a big difference, and sharing your vision. And so, speaking of vision, I want to hear what your vision is for. I would say our LGBTQ. Well, just share your vision. LGBTQ community, Columbus, and maybe even a little broader. Let me know what's going on with your vision.
Uh, my vision is a world where we all get to exist and no one has to ask for permission to exist or to be their full selves. Where they are affirmed, where they have access to all of their basic needs, right? Like we can't thrive if our basic needs aren't met. And we know that safety and security and housing and food, those are super, super basic, but there's also love and belonging and relationships. And I want that for all people as well. And so that's my bigger vision, is that we all have just what we need so that we can actually make, I guess I'll call them grounded decisions, not ones out of survival, but ones that are about thriving and about connections, and in that space of belonging. And I want that for the world, for our state, for our city, for our community. Representation matters, and I want to see all of us represented. We know we're not a monolith. Seeing Black folks be lifted up and cared for, and their voices being listened to and being safe is absolutely important to me. I've got children, you have children. I want our youth, our young people at Kaleidoscope to be a part of a world that's ready for them, a world that's able to affirm them and give them experiences of belonging and community.
Oh, that's beautiful. Are you hopeful?
I am hopeful. That's one of the reasons I work with young people. They give me so much hope. They're just amazing and they're hilarious and they're brilliant. You want to talk about vision? Our youth have a vision for the future. I love my children because they give me hope, and to know that I'm raising young people who um, they don't have the issues that we have in our community in terms of like talking about what's right and wrong and who belongs. Like it's so different, and there's so much openness and so much room there. And so I have so much hope. Going to Kaleidoscope every day, my sole reason for working is to make sure that queer youth, queer young folks get to experience safer spaces, belonging, and community. That's the only reason I work every single day. So absolutely, I am hopeful.
And your work is so aligned with your values. I mean, so you just must be having a blast.
I am. I really am. I have a really good life. Um I'm very grateful. Not that not without struggle, which I feel like is important to say for multiple reasons. I'm a queer Black woman in Columbus, Ohio, in the Midwest. A single parent. I have a great co-parent, and I've got teenagers, and so it's not without challenge, of course. But at the end of the day, my needs are always met, and I have a really beautiful life, and I'm very grateful for that.
Oh, what a beautiful way to end this conversation. I love that. I just have to say thank you for all the work you're doing. Thank you for leading. Thank you for being very visible. Thank you for bringing people together. Uh, Thank you for working with those kids. I,
Yeah,
I can't think of, I mean, they're our future, right? So
they are.
thank you for all that work, Erin. Gosh darn, I could talk to you for hours, but I know you got to probably go to work, and you got to go get those kids moving, those teenagers moving this morning. I got to go get my kids up out of bed. Get them to
Have a great time with that.
it's getting harder and harder.
Yeah,
But anyway, it's so great connecting with this morning. And remember, even when it's really damn cloudy out, the sun is always shining. All right.
absolutely. Thank you so
All right.
much for doing this, Tom. Appreciate it.